Good day everyone, and today we're going to carry on with our Final Fantasy XIII-2 walkthrough, and more specifically with our Vile Peak side quests and fragments. Now, we need to go and unlock the gate for Vile Peak's 10 AF, which is back in Academia 4XX. I'm sure you're so happy to be back here. Fortunately, our stay won't be long, since the gate is just in Grand Avenue. And depending on when you last found Captain Cryptic, you may be a bit of a ways away. But you just got to run over to Grand Avenue anyway, which shouldn't take long. And the gate's easy to find. It's on the main level of Grand Avenue, in the main square, and it's just over here. So make sure you have your wild artifact handy. And use it to return to the Historia Crux. That will unlock Vile Peak's 10 AF onto your map. There it is, and we can continue there next to carry on with our side quests.
Found in the lowlands of Cocoon, became the site of a substantial space-time distortion in the year 10 AF. The team the Academy sent to investigate this disturbance was known as the Blitz Squadron, an elite unit trained to deal with paradox-related incidents. For these veteran agents, it should have been just another routine mission.
Now, if you remember back when we was doing Augusta Tower 200, I said you'll want to capture a Dragoon Monster Crystal. If you haven't already levelled it, it's dead easy to level, so do so now. The maximum level is 20, it's a good commando, and we actually can put it to good use in this area, since we've got a boss coming up. If you didn't get it earlier, they're easy to find in Augusta Tower 200. Since it's a commando, you'll want to spend your power chips first, followed by any potent chips. As you can see, I've got loads of these materials, and I haven't even farmed for them. That's just what I've collected. Very easy to level, maximum level 20, and then it's got some good stats. It makes a good solid commando. I was just going to see if I can level up my Chi-Chu a little bit more, but I can't. He's one of the better commandos in the game, but he's expensive to level, unfortunately. Anyway, it's time to carry on with those side quests. Also, the top part of this map, which we couldn't access in the previous version of this area, is now accessible. Now, we start in the north. We want to start heading down south. The first soldier is just on the ground here. Mog should notice him, so you can use your Moogle Hunt to reveal him. Then speak to him once you've done so.
The man we encountered was an elite member of the Blitz Squadron. They called him Baxter. He was wounded from head to toe, but miraculously, none of his wounds were fatal. The airship that was carrying these Academy soldiers was attacked by a dark shadow in the sky before it crashed to the ground. It's a miracle they survived this horrible accident.
The airship went up in flames. I don't know if the others survived. But I do remember one thing. After the crash, I saw that our pilot Ray was still breathing. You must have wandered off somewhere. Would you mind looking for my friends? I know this area is dangerous, but it would mean a great deal to me.
So that's the next soldier found for another fragment, and a new quest we've picked up. Carry on heading down south through the tunnels.
The soldiers of Blitz Squadron were scattered through
The enemies around here are a pain to run away from, so you'll probably end up fighting them. Now, you do want to capture a Yakshini. It's a really good synergist that can cast Bravegar and Faithgar. So you definitely want to capture one of those. Also, if you are lucky, you might encounter the Black Chocobo, which is a good saboteur once it's levelled. It's quite expensive, as most Chocobos are. But you don't need to farm for it yet, since we're about to get a fragment once we've completed this area, which increases the chance that a monster we're fighting will drop its crystal. So we may as well wait until we've got that before we start farming for the rare black chocobo. But if you do encounter it by luck and you want to have a go at a stab at getting the crystal, then the same with all chocobos. The trick is to stagger it quickly and try and have it killed with the feral link ability of one of your monsters. Anyway, continue heading east into this area, and you can see the waypoint where you want to speak to this captain or this soldier.
So you claim the other guys in my unit asked you to look for me. Show me some proof and maybe I'll believe what you say. I recognize this compass. It's Falcons. And maybe what you're saying is true. The name's Ray. I'm the Blitz squadron pilot. I wish I could join up with the other guys in my squad. But for now, I've got to stay right where I am. Sergeant Blitz. He's trapped in the paradigm. I want to help him out of there, but some monster I can't see is blocking my way. It's the Dark Shadow, the beast that took down our airship. It wasn't phased by the ship's barrage. With our current gear and weapons, I don't think we stand a chance. Damn it, isn't there anything I can do? I hope you have a plan of some sort. Be careful, it's stronger than you might think.
Okay, so it looks like we've got a fight coming up, and there's another fragment. I have mentioned before, but those swirly things that are in the air, they're basically treasure chests that we can't yet access until we've upgraded Mog further. So we'll come back to those later on. Anyway, once you've spoken to that soldier, we need to head north at this intersection into the place where we couldn't get to before. And now we can grab the treasure chest, which we couldn't reach previously. Now we're going to have a tough fight coming up with a new boss. One of two encounters we will have to face against him. The next one will be coming up shortly after. So I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes to set up my paradigm deck, since standard relentless assault isn't going to cut it. Okay, so we want the aggression paradigm, which is why we want to level up that commando. Him and the Dragoon and Noel will be a good pair of commandos with Sarah as Ravager. And we'll want the Smart Bomb paradigm for Saboteur, so that we can debuff the boss. And we're going to want a couple more paradigms here. We're going to need something with a synergist, so that we can buff the party. And with the Smart Bomb paradigm with our Saboteur, we can also use our Cloud Burst to for the feral link to buff at the start as well, which is always going to be useful. So just finish setting these up. Make sure you have that final paradigm down the bottom there. Malevolence. And when you're ready, go to the waypoint marker, and then you'll want to look up, and you'll be able to interact with the object that's a little bit to the top of this mound.
In the year 10 AF, Blitz Squadron was assaulted by a shadowy beast. The enemy was not from this world. The personification of chaos born from the chasms of time. The beast was formed from memories carved in the very surface of the planet. It took the hideous form of an ancient, forgotten past. It was...
Odin? Is lightning behind all of this?
No, it's not hers. It's just an empty vessel. It doesn't have any human thoughts or emotions.
Please, Sarah, banish this twisted reflection of the past back into the darkness.
Okay, so as I mentioned, this is the first of two encounters against Twilight Odin. They're both pretty much the same. The second encounter's a little bit tougher because he has a new ability, but otherwise they're the same. So, start off in aggression for at least one turn, maybe two. That's just to stabilise his chain gorge so that it doesn't drop all the way down to the bottom. Once you've done that, then you'll want to buff the party. You can either use Cloudburst, the Feral Link on Cloudburst, or a Synergist, or both. And then after that, it's just a case of getting this guy staggered as quickly as possible. So you'll want to build his chain bonus up with your Ravagers. And before he actually is staggered, switch back to Aggression so that your Commando can keep the chain gauge high, so that when he is staggered it doesn't drop as quickly. If you do it right, it is possible to kill him with a single stagger. But I was never much one for doing things right, so I don't, unfortunately. My lack of skill comes through. And therefore I fail at getting a 5-star rating in this fight. When he's staggered, try and get his bonus up as high as you can, and then switch to Cerberus Paradigm, which is 3 commandos, in order to really lay on the damage. As you can see, I'm pretty slow at doing that, which is where my problem comes in. So I switched to Aggression there. You really do want to switch to Cerberus. Because I messed around so much, it did mean I didn't get to kill him, so now I have to stagger him again. So once again, I'm just going to switch to Aggression to stabilise his chain bonus. And I think a potion won't go amiss right here. So I'll buff the party once more. It'd be annoying to die at this moment. And to start getting that those numbers high. The fight itself is actually quite easy, but trying to get that 5-star rating, which is extremely possible even with a party that's not as leveled up as mine is actually the challenging part. You do have to be quick with your paradigm shifts and really select the correct ones at the right moment. Now the second fight does go a little bit better for me, but this one was a complete balls up really. And he's almost staggered. He's not going to last much longer once he's staggered. I think he'll drop fairly instantly. There we go. Now let's just finish him off. So the strategy I told you about trying to stabilise his chain bonus and then building it up before switching to Cerberus is pretty much the correct strategy. I just didn't implement it very well. And there's our next fragments, and now we're told to find Sergeant Blitz. We do want to explore this area as well to get the full 100% for the map, since we'll need it for the fragment in Academia 400. And we may as well do it while we're here. And the waypoint we can see is just a little further. Now on the way we're going to obviously encounter more random enemies again, so you might want to readjust your paradigms back from the boss fight. That's entirely up to you. By the way, once we've finished here, we are going to have to return to the 200 AF version, since the quest needs to be completed there to find these soldiers. Oh, almost missed that chest. Run away, run away. Run like the wind. Okay, that didn't work. Anyway, reveal this guy with the Moogle hunt and speak to him to continue.
thank you, too. I'd be dead if it weren't for you. I'm Blitz. I lead an investigative unit for the Academy. Who are you?
Noel Christ.
I'm Sarah Farron.
Did you say Farron? Wait a minute. You do look kind of familiar. So you're... I see. I see.
Did I miss something?
I apologize. I never thought the day would come when Sergeant Farron's younger sister would save my life. What a strange twist of fate.
You mean Lightning? How do you know my sister?
We go way back. We were all in the same security force. We took our duty seriously, working hard to keep peace and order in the town of Odin.
So your call sign is Blitz, and the other soldier's call sign is Thunder. I think I know where you got your inspiration.
That obvious, huh? It was sort of an homage to Lightning.
But my sister, she quit the military and was branded a traitor by the Sanctum.
Yeah, for a long, long time, I was pretty ticked off at her. But after a while, I saw the truth behind her actions. Although it was hard to see at first, she was trying to save Cocoon. She was fighting against the Fal'Cie, alone, standing up for what she believed in. That's when I knew I couldn't just sit back and watch this go down. In the guise, applying for positions in the Academy's force. In my heart, I believe we're still on the same team, your sister and I. We're trying to make the world a better place.
Thank you, Sergeant. When I see my sister, I'll be sure to tell her what you said. She'll be happy to hear from an old friend.
Well, I just hope she hasn't forgotten about us after all these years. But whatever happens to the world, whoever you might have to face, make sure you find her. Your sister cares for you more than anything in the world, you know.
Whoop-de-doo, we now have our next fragment.
Finally located.
And that's all the soldiers. We just need to go and hand that quest in back in the previous area.
More important thing we need to do.
We need to help the corporal. He's not going to be able to fight for much longer. And I don't want his death on my conscience. Let's do this.
I've just come to explore the rest of the map, and then we've finished here. We turn to the Historia Crux. By the way, if you do encounter that Dreadnought, which I just encountered, make sure you keep a Sentinel out since it hits quite hard, and try and stagger him as quickly as you can. Okay, so before we go to Vile Peaks 200 and engage Odin for a second time, let's spend our Christogen points. You're going to need 25,000, so I'm a little bit over, but make sure you have 25,000 before you come here. And then for Sarah, we're going to do this. We're going to level up her commando roll from 56 to 77, so that's 21 points into the commando roll for Sarah. And then the only other one we're going to level for Sarah is the Ravager roll. We need to put 9 points into the Ravager roll, levelling it to 78. And that will give us our next expansion, where we can collect the Ravager bonus boost number 2. And that's Sarah done and dusted. So next on to Noel. We're really working our way through this Crystarium now. We're at least 2/3 of the way through. So for Noel, we want to put 5 points into his commando roll, taking it to level 95. And we want to put 17 points into his Ravager roll. We're actually going to max that out now to 99. And we're not quite done yet. We just want to put 8 points into his Synergist roll. We want to level that to 65. And that will give us our expansion. And we want to increase the accessory capacity by 10. I say we, that's what I want to do. But if you're following me, then that's what you'll want to do. Therefore, when I say we, it was quite accurate. I'm going to shut up now.
The Vile Peaks.
On your return to Vile Peaks 200 AF, you can start just by chatting to the soldiers if you want to. Although they don't really have anything interesting to say. Make sure, well, you should have your 100% explored on this map now.
There's no way to kill that sinister creature unless you terminate its power source. It's like the beast is devouring energy from a different time. Is that even possible? Thanks to you guys, Falcon made it today.
And when you're ready, you're going to want to run all the way to the other side of the map, to the northwest part of the map. And we are going to be facing Odin for a second time. You can actually run away from the battles here. It's not like in the 10 AF version where you're pretty much guaranteed to enter combat once they spawn. So that's always a bonus. Yeah, we'll leave that. They can be a bit of a pain to kill. Not exactly hard, but they take a bit of plummeting to get down. Right, let's go through the tunnel. There's nothing new to do here yet, although there is a little bit later. And there's Odin once again. So when you're ready, make sure your paradigms are set up as before. Speak to him or interact with him to start the fight. Now the fight itself is identical to the last fight in all but one part, and that is that he has a new powered ability called Zanetsu or something like that, I can't pronounce it, which he starts casting the longer the fight goes on. So the trick here is to really kill him quickly. For instance, in the last battle I messed up so much and it went on for a while and we managed to get away with it. Here you won't, because the longer the fight goes on, the more he spams his new ability. Don't worry, he doesn't start casting it until later, so just try and get him staggered, build his chain bonus up as before, and then get him killed. Other than that, everything else is the same, so I'm just going to be quiet now and let the fight carry on. So we've got a 5-star rating that time, how wonderful. We get Twilight Odin as a monster crystal, although don't level him, he's very expensive, at least at the minute. And another fragment.
The shadow of a false Odin is not my burden to bear. But if the men had died, nothing could have erased my guilt. I fought alongside those 6 men years ago. I thought they would have forgotten my existence by now. I find comfort in the fact that people can disappear but still continue to live on in others' memories. So Sarah, if you keep me in your thoughts, one day I'm certain I will find my way home again.
You will.
Oh, what?
Oh, it's nothing. I just thought I heard Lightning's voice. I know it's probably just all in my head.
Impossible things are happening all around us. What with the paradox and the artifacts. Anything can happen. I believe you did hear her voice.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
And there we get our 2 gate seals, one for each of the areas. So we can lock those later.
For the lost survivors, right? I'm pretty sure we found all 6.
So now we want to return to the survivors that we found. They're collected at the eastern part of the map, where we first started out this area. Although when we go through this tunnel, there's a shadowy figure just on the other side. Use your Moogle hunt and you'll reveal an old friend, and then interact with them.
Who are you?
Saz!
I am no longer there, but they'll encounter a friend. My first comrade in arms, a man who treasured family more than anything. We did not meet here, but this is where we parted ways.
Hey there, Sarah. What's happening? Wait a minute. You know what? Forget I asked. Can't hear a single word you say from here. How you been? Keeping yourself busy? Not running around like a headless chocobo, I hope. You know, you need to stop and take a breath every now and then, or you just wipe yourself out. I remember being here back in the day. You know, when I was young and in my prime. Things heated up between me and Lightning, and we ended up going our separate ways. Well, to tell you the truth, she walked off and left me behind. Man, those were some tough times. If you're in a bad situation with friends, someone's got your back. If you're alone, you're done for. Speaking of tough times, things still haven't gotten much better. I wandered into this strange, psychedelic world, and now I'm gambling to win the prize of a lifetime. I've got something important on the line, and you know I'm not one to back down. I know I can get out of this winner. I have to. Well, I just wanted to drop in and say hi. Play nice with your friends, you hear me? Oh, and here's a little something from me to you. But now I really gotta run. Later, folks.
That was Saz. He's an old friend of ours. He fought alongside Lightning and Snow to try to protect a cocoon. He's been doing this kind of thing a lot longer than we have.
I wonder what they argued about that would make your sister leave him behind. Whatever it was, I guess they had as rocky a road as we did.
Yeah, that's for sure. But I think experiencing the bumps and the hardships along the way is what brings people closer together. That's how you make great friends, right?
Fantastic, another easy fragment. And now we can continue on back to the soldiers. And now, since we have defeated Odin completely, you'll probably, well, almost certainly want to put your paradigms back to the way they were. So, obviously this area is completely optional, but I hope you've enjoyed doing it. And we're going to be doing some more optional stuff next. We really are working towards those 160 fragments. We've got over 90, or getting close to 90 I think now at least. And you can see the soldier with a speech bubble, so speak to him.
The soldiers we met shared Lightning's beliefs and had once fought by her side. They never forgot who she was. They had found a place for her in their memories, in their hearts. Can you hear me up there in Valhalla? You've touched so many hearts. You made a difference in so many lives. You made your mark in the world, and I'm proud of you.
Thanks again for your help, little sis. Couldn't have resolved the paradox without you. The members of Blitz Squadron are finally going to return to our time. All 6 of us, together. I know you're on a journey to find your sister. Might not be easy, but don't give up until you find her, okay? Oh, and you'd better not forget our invitations to our welcome home party.
Great, so there's the next fragments. And when you're ready, if you just pop south, you'll see another shadowy figure. Use the Moogle hunt and interact with them to continue.
Come on, Mog.
That's her, right? That's Lightning.
It's like she can't see us or something.
I am in Valhalla, isolated from others, engaged in a solitary battle.
Lightning.
I remember the day I became Ulysses. I turned the entire world against me, and I fought alone for what I believed in. I thought that was the only way, but I was wrong. There were others who were burdened with the same fate. I realized that I wasn't alone. Valhalla is empty. There is no one here. But I carry the memories of you and my friends in my heart. As long as the memories are not forgotten, I will always have people with me, supporting me along the way. Even you, Sarah. But I do miss you. What I wouldn't give for us to talk and laugh like we used to. I pray for the day that dream becomes a reality. And one day it will. Sarah, I hope you can hear my words. I pray you can hear all I have to say.
I do. As if you're right here.
Well, that's that. Well, after hearing a touching sisterly speech like that, now we have no choice but to go to Valhalla. I know that's been the plan all along, but now it's official.
That's right, Kubo.
And there we go, I believe that is the final fragment we need to collect. I'll just double check that in the menu. Yes, we've got 4 out of 4 for 10 AF, and we've got them all for this area as well, so that's it for the Vile Peaks. You can return to the Historia Crux. But that's not quite the end of the video just yet, since once you've collected all the fragments in Vile Peaks, head over to Serendipity, and we can collect a new fragment skill. I mentioned this earlier, it's very useful. What this fragment skill will do for us is actually increase the drop chance of monster crystals once we've killed a monster. Very useful for our farming sessions when we're after certain crystals. Of course, the mystic that we need to speak to. Oh, there's a chest there. Not sure where that came from actually, but it's got a gate seal in anyway. The mystic is in here. As before, you just need to speak to her to collect the fragment skill.
It is clear as day. You were the ones chosen by the goddess. The fragments you carry are proof of her faith in you. If you present me...
Once you have the skill, you can go down to the fragment skills in the menu and turn it on. They're always off by default, so do remember to turn them on. And I think that is everything then for this video. So next time we will be going to the optional Urba time zones to collect about another 16 or 17 fragments actually over the 2 new areas, which will be useful. I've been Fuzzfinger, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you next time.